Welcome to Daisha Presents. Now, for those of you that are new to the show, every week I like to touch base on beneficial topics that can help make your life a better one. Now, after hearing so many stories, I realized that so many people out there are struggling with mental health issues that we're unaware of. So today's topic will actually be about boosting your mental health. Now, before we meet our guest today, I want to first address 5 ways that you can boost your own mental health. Okay, number 1, track gratitude. Now that means including 3 things that you're grateful for and 3 things that you are able to accomplish each day. Number 2, meditate. Now visualize your higher self and how you want your day and life to go. This definitely helps your self-esteem. Number 3, start your day with a cup of coffee or tea, whichever you prefer. But surprisingly, coffee consumption is linked to lower rates of depression. Number 4, experiment. Now, creative expression and overall well-being are definitely related. And number 5, set up a getaway. Now, this can be something small like going to the movies or even planning a vacation, but having something to actually look forward to can boost your overall self-esteem and happiness as well. Now, that was 5 ways to boost your mental health. Now, also, before we meet our guest today, I would like to go into a famous quote. What lies before us and what lies behind us are small matters compared to what lies within us. And when you bring what is within out into the world, miracles happen. Okay, so my next guest is an actor, musician, and poet who goes by the name of Pastor O. Now, I did want to bring him on the show today because his story was so touching to me, and although he's always smiling, you actually never really know what someone has gone through. Now, let's meet our guest today, Pastor O, and hear how he actually overcame his things in his own life. Pastor O, thank you for coming today. Nice to meet you.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, for sure. Thanks for joining. Now, you go by the name of Pastor O, but your real name is actually Olusegun Banjo.
Yes.
So where did you get the name Pastor O from?
Pastor was, wow, because I'm actually in the ministry. I've been an ordained minister since 2013. I've actually been in ministry since 2006. And Pastor, people just started calling me Pastor. I'm not really, I'm assistant pastor, but I'm not really a pastor yet.
Wow.
And so this is a nickname because I'm so religious and I bring God, you know.
Oh, okay, so you actually a real pastor.
Yes,
So that's how you got the name.
Yes.
Wow, that's surprising.
Yes.
Now, Olusegun and I actually met on the set of Gospel where you were actually acting. But after reading your bio, I realized you were multi-talented and you're also an author as well. So tell us a little bit about how did that happen?
Wow, I've always been writing for as long as I can remember. Because I was 8 years old. I've been writing poetry since I was 8 years old. And
Wow.
I've been writing songs since I was like about 12 years old.
Okay.
And I actually have, my first actual poem was published in 2002.
Wow.
And that followed my first poetry book in 2005 with the Publisher America, which was a big publisher at that time. And kept going. And that's how I've been doing writing, acting. I have autobiography and a children's book, and I have a song biography coming out. So,
Nice. So in total, how many books would you say you've written?
I would say 22.
22 books?
Yes.
Wow.
16 poetry books and other types of books, and children's books and all that stuff.
Wow, that's very impressive.
Yeah.
Now, we do see that you're multi-talented, but wouldn't you say being a musician is your favorite of all? I say that because Olusegun is actually pretty much famous on YouTube.
Yeah, I love music. I've been singing since I was 1.5 years old in church and stuff like that. And I have albums out and music and YouTube. It's a blessing that people actually connect to my music and they really love it. I just love it. Because all my music is about what's going on in my life right now. And mostly I try to be as positive as I can about the music, not shake your booty, oh yeah, you know, I do have some songs like that, but I just try to bring out the positivity and people gravitate to that and I love it.
Nice. Now, for those who don't know, how many YouTube views do you have?
Oh wow. In total, almost, because I have so many videos up, I have like almost 2 million views on YouTube.
Wow, that's a lot of views. A lot of views. Now, how many music albums would you say you have?
I have 21, but my 22nd album is coming out in October.
Wow, okay, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, one of the reasons I actually wanted to bring you on the show today was because your story was very inspiring and you're very strong. I say that because you're always smiling and laughing, but you never know, like I said, what someone has gone through. So I want to talk, and since the topic today is about boosting your mental health, that's something that you also had to unfortunately learn to do.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was reading about, after the molestation took place. Could you tell us a little bit about that and how old were you when this actually took place?
Ironically, it happened from the time I was 5 until the time I was 6. And it was actually, ironically, my mother went to this church called Church of God, Deliverance Church of God in Christ. And it was actually the preacher's son who would always take me somewhere
At 5 years old.
at 5 years old and do what they had to do and threaten me like if I told anybody that would be done. Little kid is like, oh my God, he wants to protect everybody. But it got really, really bad when me and my mother and my sister, we had to move into the church because we had nowhere else to go. And so he saw the opportunity to go for what he knew. And it was terrible, but I'm like, wow.
Yeah. So how old was he at the time?
I believe he was about 25 or 26.
Wow.
Yeah, he was sick. It's a sick individual who does stuff like that.
And this happened inside the church, you said?
Inside the church.
Wow. So did you actually tell anyone about this or try to tell anyone?
I tried to tell my mother, but my mother really didn't believe me. And I just held on to it until about 8 years later, I was in junior high. And I don't know how it happened, but I just started crying. People were asking me, like, why? Because I started having memories. I just had memories of it.
Like flashbacks?
Yeah. And I told somebody, and then I told one of my friends what I was going through, and she ended up telling the administrators there, the principal, and next thing you know, I was called to office and I identified, and it was like, I really didn't let everybody into my world until 8 years later. So,
okay.
It was painful.
So you did try to go to the police about this once you got to a certain age?
Yes.
So was he caught and captured or?
He's in jail right now as we speak.
For that?
Not only was he molesting, he was molesting other people too.
Wow, really? I'm so sorry to hear that. So now that you're an adult, how would you say having that experience negatively affected you?
It negatively affected. So sometimes, like I said, I do have flashbacks, but I'm the type of person like it's hard to say. I'm still dealing with it, but I learned that it was not my fault.
Yeah.
I had learned that it wasn't my fault. It was just a sick individual. I don't know. It's just like it's sickness. Can't stand it.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate. So would you say like music was your outlet for overcoming that what you went through?
Music was definitely my outlet. And also writing became my outlet too. I mean, because I was able to express my feelings, express what I really, really felt at that time. And it just helped me. Music really helped me, especially when I was going through what I was going through a little bit later in life.
Yeah.
I noticed that music was always there as like a friend, I was sitting there and just listening to music and write music and sing, and it made me feel a lot better about my life. And then when I discovered that I could create music, oh, that was better. That was just an icing on the cake for me. I just knew that since I could create music and give a voice to what I was feeling at that time, and that just made me feel so fantastic.
Nice. That's amazing. So you would say music was your outlet, and that kind of helped you just stay strong and not really think about it so much.
So even though it happened so long ago, there's still sometimes I think about it, but I realize, I learned how to move past the pain a little bit. And there are some days, I really, really get depressed, but I just I turn on it's kind of weird, but blues.
Yeah.
That's my favorite. B.B. King. That's my favorite. I know it's blues music, but that always makes me feel a lot better when I listen to his music or when I create a song about what I feel.
Yeah, that's amazing. Well, you are very, very, very strong. So now that you have overcame it, what advice would you give to other people out there who are struggling with mental issues because of some abuse that they've dealt with or just other personal reasons?
You can never really overcome it. It's just like an alcoholic says, you have to take it day by day.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that to alcoholics,
Yeah.
whatever people dealing with substance, but it's just a day by day thing that you really have to like seriously say, you know what, it wasn't my fault. It was a very painful experience, but I've learned that you can't dwell on the pain.
Yeah.
You have to keep going. You have to keep going because just because something is painful right now today, doesn't mean it'll be painful
for the rest of your life. Yeah.
And that's advice I would give to somebody, like, seek help. Have people to talk to, because I talk to a lot of people. I'm blessed to have good friends that I'm able to talk to about things. And
you talk to a lot of people about what you went through at
not all, yeah, that too. But also, I also have a therapist I talk to too, and we communicate about what I've been through and what I'm doing right now. And I don't use it as a crutch for the rest of my life. It happened. It hurts. But I try to not make that my destination in my life.
Yeah. Yeah, that's amazing. So definitely keep doing your thing.
And also try not to make excuses. You know, like I'm acting bad because of this, because what happened to me in the past. That's 20 years ago. Come on, what are you doing right now?
Yeah. Another thing I'm curious about, are you and your mother close to this day? Or would you say with her not believing you at such a young age that kind of affected the relationship that you guys have?
We're not as close as she wants to be, but we're all right.
Would you say it's because of that issue? Or?
It's just a lot of things that, that we're not really like buddy. But I see her every now and then, we talk, we have a great time, we're family, and I learned how to forgive her.
Yeah.
And just like she had to learn how to forgive me sometimes, we have to learn how to forgive each other about some stuff.
Yeah, well that's amazing. So that's some good advice. Like you said, definitely seek an outlet. Definitely, talk to people if you need to get a therapist. That's also good. But just try to use your creativity and get your mind off of it for the most part. So I think that's great.
Sometimes also dealing with it, and dealing with your feelings at that time really helps you. Really.
Being creative helps you. Really.
But also dealing with the feeling, I'm feeling low right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna write something about it. As right now, basically, because I remember, I think it was a couple years ago, actually, I was dealing with the feelings and stuff like that. I was writing. Actually, I have a blues album that's gonna be coming out next year.
That's awesome.
About
when you were having your lows.
Yeah. And that just made me feel so creative. Just like Langston Hughes said. Langston Hughes said that he doesn't want to make any poetry of quality unless he's feeling low. And that's the same thing with me. Unless I'm really feeling low or feeling really high.
Yeah, because we all have those emotions, but I'm sure there's people out there when you make music specifically for those feelings, they can actually relate to it as well. So I definitely agree with that for sure. Now, thank you again for sharing your story. Like I said, you're very strong and it's very inspiring because this guy is always laughing, always smiling. I had no idea he had gone through so much. But before you leave us today, what can we look forward to from Pastor coming up?
Ooh, we got a lot to come
What you got coming?
Oh man, September 3rd, the video for my song called Ministry is coming out. Ironically, it's going to be starring my mother in the video.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm excited. What's up? October 6th, Look What God Has Done Volume 2. Because Look What God Has Done was my first album. It came out in 2006. We're doing a Volume 2 that's coming out October 6th of this year, 15 years later.
Wow.
And then I also have a book on that same day coming out. It's called Every Song Has a Story.
A book?
Yes.
So you releasing an album, a song, and a book around the same time?
Yes.
This guy, he does it all. He does it all.
And I might be back in the what's it called, in the play, Godspell.
You might be, okay.
I don't know yet. Don't quote me on that, y'all.
Like I said, he was a former cast of the Gospel, so you may be coming back.
I may be coming back.
Okay.
Breaking news,
So we may have to be on the lookout for that too. Okay, awesome. So tell everybody before you leave us, where's the best place to find you, like social media?
Oh, www.
Your albums, where can we find the songs and everything? I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, no worries.
Like, sorry, shut up. Anyways, You can find me on Linktree, www.linktree.com/overcame. It has all my links, my YouTube, everything. And also, if you want to get me on Instagram, it's Shade Boogie. It's SHAYBOOGIE, the number 3 on Instagram. And you can find me on Apple Music, all over the place. I'm all over the place. Depends on the day. I might be on Santa Monica tomorrow.
Right, this guy's all over, and I'm also going to attach his information at the bottom of the screen, so definitely check that out. Again, thank you for coming. You're going to have to come back when you release some more of those albums.
Most definitely.
Let us know.
Have me on tomorrow.
Yeah. So silly. Okay, well, that wraps it up, guys, for Daisha Presents, and I will see you next week.